everyone! How's your grind in Wild Rift going? In this video, we're diving into how to master Orianna in the mid lane and breaking down why she's an absolute powerhouse in the current meta. Now, we're looking at the landing phase against Aurelian Soul. Since it's a pretty standard, low-intensity matchup, I've sped up the footage. While we fast forward, I'll walk you through Orianna's core philosophy and how to approach the landing phase. Let's talk about Orianna's current state and her strengths. Even though her pick rate is on the lower side, she possesses an incredible damage trading potential and massive zone control in teamfights, thanks to her game-changing ultimate. If piloted correctly, she's honestly one of the strongest carries in the current meta, capable of taking over the game single-handedly. Now, the reason why Orianna's win rate isn't quite reflecting her true potential is that players often fall into a passive playstyle. They end up being glorified assist machines, simply waiting to attach the ball to an initiator and hit the shockwave. By relying too much on teammates to set up the plays, they miss out on her true ability to carry the game themselves. To be honest, let's be real here, Orianna isn't a 1v9 hypercarry. She's not that kind of champion who can just run through the enemy team solo. Instead, she's a utility-heavy mage who thrives when she's facilitating the team. Think of her as the ultimate force multiplier for your allies. Before we dive into her skill breakdown, let's talk about how to approach this landing phase against Aurelian Soul. Now, let's exploit his biggest weakness, the Q Breath of Light. This is his primary damage and wave clear tool, and it's also his biggest window of vulnerability. Since he's locked into the animation and his movement speed is significantly slowed, he's basically a sitting duck. That's your cue to land your skill shots or unload your full burst combo on him. Next, you can interrupt his Q with any hard CC. Whether it's a stun, knock-up, silence, or charm, landing it while he's channeling will instantly shut down his damage output. Also, avoid standing directly behind your minions. Since his Q pierces through targets, hiding behind a minion just makes you an easy target for collateral damage. Always try to position yourself at an angle. Now watch out for his E, the Singularity. This is his bread and butter for stacking his passive. Here's the rule: avoid the center at all costs. If you get caught in the middle, you'll be pulled right into his Q and get melted. As soon as you see the gravity field pop, dodge out of the circle immediately, don't hesitate. One more thing, never stand near your minions when he uses his E. If he casts it on the wave, move away immediately. By doing this, you force him to choose between two options. Use the E to farm and stack his passive, or use it to harass you. You're essentially making him waste his resources and forcing him to play inefficiently. Now, for the early lane phase, specifically levels 1 through 5, your goal here is to bully him. Asol is extremely squishy early on, and drains his mana pool fast. From level 1, look to land constant auto attacks, and engage in short trades to push him under his tower. Now, for the early lane phase, specifically levels 1 through 5, your goal here is to bully him. Asol is extremely squishy early on, and drains his mana pool fast. From level 1, look to land constant auto attacks, and engage in short trades to push him under his tower. Bottom line, the key to this matchup is how hard you can bully him early on. You need to shut him down before he scales, or he'll take over the team fights later. Don't be afraid to play aggressively from the jump. You have to make his life a living hell in the landing phase, so he can't carry in the late game. Now, let's break down the essential tips to dominate the landing phase with Orianna. She's capable of winning almost any trade early on, provided you master her ability combos and, more importantly, maintain perfect spacing. Let's talk about Orianna's passive, Clockwork Windup. Every auto attack against an enemy deals bonus magic damage. The key here is that this damage stacks up to 2 times on the same target. So, don't just rely on your spells. Mix in your auto attacks whenever you can, even while farming, to keep chipping away at your lane opponent. Orianna's passive, Clockwork Windup, grants bonus magic damage on every auto attack. What's crucial is that this damage stacks up to 2 times against the same target. During early landing, this is a massive part of your trading power. Don't just spam your spells. Make sure to weave in those auto attacks between your abilities to maximize your damage output. Now let's talk about her Q, Command Attack. This skill allows you to throw the ball in a target direction, dealing magic damage to enemies it passes through and at the destination. It's the bread and butter of her kit. Literally every play you make starts with this skill. One important note, the ball deals 10% less damage for each enemy it passes through, capped at a 50% reduction. Because of this, hitting minions along the way drastically lowers your damage output. Always focus on positioning yourself to land the ball directly on your target, avoiding the minion wave as much as possible. Pro tip, don't forget that the ball grants vision wherever it lands. You can use this to face check bushes safely, or keep an eye out for incoming ganks. It's an incredibly useful tool for map awareness and staying safe in the lane. One caution, the cooldown scales down to just 2.8 seconds as you level it up. While that sounds great, don't just spam it mindlessly. Moving the ball too aggressively can leave you vulnerable, as your other abilities rely on the ball's position. If you're constantly repositioning it, you might find yourself out of sync with your W and E, making your playstyle messy and predictable. Now, for her W, Command Dissonance. When activated, the ball creates a magnetic field that deals magic damage and slows all enemies caught inside. But it's not just for damage. It also grants a movement speed boost to any allies who touch the field. It's her primary utility tool for both engaging and disengaging. Let's talk about her bread and butter combo, Q into W. The rhythm is simple. Use your Q to position the ball exactly where you want it, and immediately follow up with your W to trigger the damage and slow. Mastering this instant chain is key to punishing your opponent's positioning. A word of caution, the cooldown on your W is quite long, and it doesn't scale down much as you level it up. This means you have to be very selective with when you use it. Don't waste it on a low-value trade. Save it for when you can secure a kill, disengage from a gank, or turn a team fight around. Now for her E, Command Protect. You can attach the ball to yourself or an ally. Once attached, the target gains a shield and a bonus to both armor and magic resist. It's the perfect tool to negate poke damage or keep your carries alive in the heat of battle. One extra utility to remember, the ball deals damage to any enemies it passes through while traveling to its target. This means you can use the return path to poke opponents or secure a last hit on a fleeing enemy, even if you're pulling the ball back to protect yourself. Pro tip, if you're up against melee champions like Yasuo, consider taking E at level 1. By utilizing the shield and armor buff right from the start, you can mitigate their all-in attempts and trade safely. It completely shuts down their early lane pressure and helps you stay healthy while you farm. Now, the ultimate game changer, her ultimate, Command Shockwave. After a brief delay, the ball unleashes a massive shockwave that pulls all nearby enemies toward it and deals significant magic damage. This is the definition of a wombo combo tool. When you land a perfect shockwave, you're not just dealing damage, you're setting your team up to wipe out the entire enemy squad. This is the heart of every team fight, your ability to cluster the entire enemy team into one spot. When you combine this with your teammates' AoE abilities, you're looking at a guaranteed game-turning play. A well-timed shockwave doesn't just win a fight, it wins the game. Strategic positioning is everything. By placing your ball in choke points or around key objectives like Dragon and Baron, you create a no-go zone for the enemy. The moment they step into that area, you trigger the shockwave. It forces the enemy to play on your terms, and often leads to free picks before a fight even starts. Remember, your ultimate isn't just for solo killing. It's the ultimate setup for your team. Even if you don't get the kill yourself, pulling everyone together creates the perfect kill zone for your teammates to unleash their damage. Focus on centering your shockwave where your team can capitalize on it. That's how you turn a single ability into a team-wide victory. Let's talk about a game-breaking secret, the perfect setup. Because Shockwave has a narrow radius, trying to land it on mobile targets can be risky. The solution? Synergy. Pair your ultimate with engage-heavy champions like Pantheon, Vi, or Jarvan 4. When they dive in with their ultimates, They force the enemy team to cluster, giving you a guaranteed shockwave opportunity. They provide the initiation, you provide the devastation. It's impossible for the enemy to react in time. Let's talk about a power spike item for Orianna, Blackfire Torch. Because Orianna's Q and W have such low cooldowns, she can maintain the item's burn effect almost indefinitely during a fight. This makes it an S-tier choice in specific situations, especially against tanky compositions or when you need that extra burn to secure picks. It's not just an item, it's a constant damage multiplier that makes your sustained damage absolutely terrifying. Introduced in patch 7.2, Blackfire Torch is a game changer for Orianna. It provides a perfect trifecta: mana, ability haste, and a unique passive that grants scaling AP and dot in team fights. Because Orianna thrives in prolonged combat, this item turns her from a simple burst mage into a relentless damage machine. It truly opens up new tactical possibilities, allowing you to control the battlefield with sustained pressure rather than just relying on single rotation combos. Let's look at the build path. Blackfire Torch builds from Lost Chapter, granting you a massive 500 mana and 20 ability haste. This is huge for Orianna. Since your Q has such a low cooldown, you're constantly repositioning the ball. The mana pool keeps you in lane longer, while the ability haste ensures you have your ball ready to strike at a moment's notice. It's the perfect engine to keep your relentless pressure going both in lane and during chaotic team fights. Here's where it gets truly terrifying: the passive. For every enemy champion caught in your burn, you gain 4% bonus AP. Since Orianna's Q, W, and your ultimate are all AoE, if you land a perfect shockwave on their whole team, you're looking at a massive 20% AP spike instantly. You're not just hitting them with a big shockwave, you're hitting them with a significantly empowered follow-up that melts anything left standing. It turns a standard combo into a total team wipe. One overlooked advantage of Blackfire Torch is its burn effect against minions and monsters. Because it scales with neutral camps and waves, your wave clear speed skyrockets in the mid-game. You can shove a lane and rotate to the jungle or objectives in seconds. It's not just about fighting, it's about having the economy and map pressure to outpace your opponent. This item ensures you're always ahead in gold and experience. So, is Leden's Echo still the go-to first item? Let's break down the difference. Leden's Echo is all about that instant burst, and wave clear through its proc damage. It's perfect if you're looking to delete a squishy target, or if you're playing in a fast-paced lane where you need quick trades. On the other hand, Blackfire Torch is for sustained dominance. If you're playing against tankier comps or anticipate long, drawn-out team fights, the burn effect and AP scaling offer much more value. It's a choice between bursting one target or burning down an entire team. Now let's talk about the ultimate power spike, Rabadon's Deathcap. Orianna's abilities, especially her ultimate, have massive AP scaling. When you combine this with the sheer raw AP boost from Deathcap's passive, you aren't just doing damage, you're disintegrating health bars. It's the perfect synergy. It takes your already deadly shockwave and turns it into a delete button for the enemy team. Once you've secured your foundation with mana and ability haste from your first item, jumping straight into Rabadon's Deathcap as your second item is a massive power play. Because Orianna relies on casting spells constantly, having that massive AP boost early allows you to translate your high uptime into genuine kill pressure. It's the most efficient way to snowball your lead and make your presence in mid-game team fights truly overwhelming. Now be aware, Deathcap is a heavy investment. With its expensive components like the needlessly large rod, it can be tough to build if you're behind. However, if you're ahead, scoring kills or farming effectively, don't hesitate. Rushing Deathcap as your second item is the ultimate way to widen the gap. It turns your lead into an unstoppable force, making you the undisputed threat that the enemy simply cannot handle. Let's talk about the new meta item for Orianna, Cryptbloom. While Void Staff has always been the go-to for raw penetration, Cryptbloom is quickly becoming the superior choice. It offers that crucial magic penetration, but pairs it with ability haste, which, as we've discussed, is vital for keeping your ball active. Plus, The passive healing effect during team fights. It's a total game changer. It turns your Orianna into not just a damage threat, but a secondary support for your team. If you want to carry through team utility and sustain pressure, Cryptbloom is the new standard. The passive on Cryptbloom, Life Drain, is the secret to winning high-stakes team fights. When you pull the enemy team together with Command, Shockwave, and they fall within 3 seconds, you trigger a massive healing nova right where they stood. It turns your Shockwave into a double-edged sword for the enemy. First, you destroy their formation and health, and then your kill chain keeps your allies alive to finish the job. It's not just a damage spike, it's a sustain engine that practically guarantees your team walks away from the fight healthy and ready for the next objective. When it comes to runes, flexibility is key. Whether you prefer the mobility of Phase Rush or the oppressive lane poke of Airy, it really comes down to your playstyle. But here is the non-negotiable rule: you must run Botanist. Why? Because Orianna is a control mage who lives and dies by her positioning in lane state. The extra healing and mana from Honeyfruit are lifesavers. It keeps you in the lane, allows you to trade aggressively, and ensures you're never forced to recall at a critical moment. It's the ultimate insurance policy for your lane phase.
Victory!
If you stay disciplined with your plant gathering, you'll find yourself with a full build while the enemy is still struggling to finish their second item. Gold wins games, and with Botanist, you have the ultimate farming tool. There's still so much more to break down. The deeper matchups, specific objective control, and those game-winning Orianna moments. But we'll save that for the next video. If you found this guide helpful and want to take your Orianna gameplay to the next level, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.